Oh, oh, oh. Khalile, hluphekile kwenele manje. Izinyembezi engisikhalile manje zesuliwe. Lobubuhlungu ongizwisebo namanje budlulile.
Hi guys, welcome to our YouTube channel. My name is Msimelelo Kapoltina, and as you can see in this episode I don't have Somi next to me. She's behind the camera, and the reason for that is that we are talking Baptized in Fire, my book that recently came out. Look guys, unfortunately I could not give you an official book launch, so I decided to think a bit outside the box and give you something different, something special, something that you can have forever. So this is a bit for those that have bought the book, and it's also for those that haven't bought it, and I can assure you after watching this you're gonna be racing to go buy the book. So this is how this is gonna go. The story that's in the book is told from my perspective, the perspective of the person that has lived that story. So over the next few minutes, you're going to hear the story being told from the perspective of the people that have been around me for most of my life, and some of them for my entire life. I'm talking family, I'm talking friends and acquaintances, but I think it's mostly family and friends. I've been fortunate to have had such great support right through my life, and you will hear their perspectives as they tell you about who MC is, what MC has gone through, and also what they went through as a result of what MC has gone through. I'm not sure if that's making sense. So there's going to be a bit of book reading that I'll do as well throughout the video, and I hope you guys enjoy the virtual launch documentary. I do recall my older brother Sipho suddenly grabbing at me. His mouth moved as he shouted something to me, but I just stood staring blankly, consumed by fiberglass fumes. Somehow or other, my brother managed to grab hold of me and pulled my almost dead weight out of that fiery pit of hell. I lay on the soft grass, looking at the Iboma, our heart, which was being engulfed in fumes and smoke, smoldering away to nothing. I could not feel the grass below me, and I couldn't feel my lips. Why the lack of sensation of my lips was important to me then remains a mystery to this day.
It is very much difficult to describe how I was affected by the incident which took place towards the end of 1999. I must, however, say that at the time I experienced a lot of emotions which ranged from shock, disbelief, and a sense of profound sadness, particularly that of blaming myself, because Masaka is my younger brother. The inexplicable circumstances surrounding the accident did not help the situation either. But at the time, I was barely 19, and I could not think much about what the future was going to be for Masaka. That in itself created some sense of calmness in my life. I relied heavily on my parents, but thankfully made sure that I did not harbor any sense of guilt about what took place. I was also very much fortunate when I was at university to have friends who helped me, particularly those who understood what I went through.
Ilanga latshone mina kakhulu zange ndamkele tu iwe sewungababoni isiko lisitha nababona kwabanzima kakhulu kwazi ukugqibelisa ngomhlanje ndibona umsimelelo.
Kwakunjani mama xa ubona?
Asange ndisayibona namhlanje ndandihamba nommelwane endikhaphile. Kodwa ndathi ndawungena kuthiwa kuphi kanene kule ndawo into iwoti. Ndathi xa ndingene ewotini ndaqonda uba andimboni uphi. Ndathi kunosakhele ulapha ndizambona. Waphakamisa izandla umsimelelo. Wathi xa eqala uphakamisa izandla kweza isizalwana esisesibhedlele. Sathi kum umsimelelo akakayi esipilini. Akazazi uza kubona ubuso bakhe apha kuwe. Wandiphakamisela ezo zandla wathi abe ziphakamisile. Wangena unosakhele nomfazi kaMpumelelo. Into endikhumbulayo kuphuma kwam ndibambe bobabini ndakhala ndaphuma ngaphandle. Ndakhala. Ndathi ayinazi benje le nto. Ayinazi benje ayingowam lo. Kodwa kwakho into ethetha apha kum yathi abantwana balele apha kule Benz unit ngabantwana babantu. Ndathula sikhwela iteksi ndakothuka. Andalunga weske ngoku ndawufika endlini. Kodwa ndizamile. Cela umphefumlo noba inyama idlakadlaka inamsebenzi. Ndazinikezela emva koko. Ndathi wenzakele kodwa uThixo uzawundipha. Ndinamazwi endiwakhumbula ngomsimelelo ndikhwele eteksini esuka eMotherwell. Uthi lo mfundisi ungadinwa ndibuze intoni. Athi siza kubuza bekuthe nina. Kodwa indim nomnye umuntu omenzakalisileyo uzuphendule right. Ndawaginya ndahamba. Wathi kodwa ndibona umuntu apha. Wathi ndibona umuntu mama mna apha. Ndiyambona. Kwawusitsho umfundisi endingamaziyo wayesithi usuka kula macala samaqonca. Wathi ngumuntu khona into ezophuma apha.
Wow.
Indlela ke endayiphilayo xa ndibheke esibhedlela. Ndiyombona ndinyamezele.
Well, when I was discharged from hospital, which it was many years ago, I think the visits that were made to the hospital by the family, particularly my father and his friends, the interactions that I've had with many people while I was at the hospital did to a great extent prepare me for my final arrival at home, being in the state that I was at that moment. I was happy to be at home, particularly because it was during a period where I had to finally leave the initiation school. My discharge from the hospital coincided with the date in which I was to leave the circumcision school. I was very much happy to see my parents, particularly because I knew that from that day onwards, they were going to form an integral part of my recovery. I was, however, saddened by the fact that I had to leave Umasaga back in the hospital because during that time he was still sick.
But that burn incident really took its toll on me. Most of my childhood memories begin from that time onwards. How would you react if that happened to you? For my part, I largely turned inward. I began to exercise my mind and focus on my books. At school and elsewhere, people would often point, gawk and laugh. So many people just didn't want to be my friend. They did not know how to handle it, or they didn't want to be associated with the weak little band boy. But the books, they never laughed or pointed or ridiculed. They became my friends when I didn't have any others.
The day bebuya ngakhona esibhedlele ngo-91, we were all excited, but nervous at the same time. Because of we were prepared, we extend the injuries, so khange kubekho into esisurprise-leyo or esithusileyo. So sikhontinue simbona at the same person ebenguye, like at the same brother ebenguye before unzakala.
Sikhule singazange simbone different to anyone. That's the thing. Sikhule umsimele efana nabanye abantu, singazange treated differently, singazange simpokose, singazange simprotecte. Even sesisiya esikolweni asizange sisihambe naye kuba sisethi sifuna umkhosela. Ebezihambela neshomi zakhe esikolweni akuzange kube khona abantu basifuna uyomcheckisha unjani ngoku inoba kuthwane eklasini kwenzeka ntoni. We never see him differently up until this day.
Generally, my father didn't like us to play much with anyone outside of our immediate family. I realize now that it was his way of protecting us and pushing us towards spending more time in the yard, learning as much as we could. If we did not study or read our books, he would punish us. He had never had the privilege of an education. As a grown man, I now appreciate what he was trying to do, but it wasn't easy to appreciate at the time. He would give us very strange chores to do around the house. For my part, I would learn how to build, fix, and maintain things. The severity of my burns didn't matter to him, or that I suffered difficulties. While we were around, my father never took his car to a motor mechanic. From as early as I can remember, he would work on his own car and call us all around. Me, my sisters, and my brother. We all needed to get involved. An 11-year-old working under a car is not something you see every day.
Kuba ke eyakhe ingqeqesho iqala ngohlobo oluthile ayitshintshi ude namntu binditya ndide ndikhathazeke kwenye into nokuthi xa hlala uthatha umntana umthume into very heavy emncinci okanye uthatha umntana umthume kwindawo yena pha ngaphakathi ayazi uba xa ndigqithe apha ndizawuma kweyiphi indawo. Kodwa ndandizivuthulula nam ezo zinto ndithi akubi nje kaloku mhlawumbi phaa kuye kubuhlungu kodwa ubomi bakho akayamkeli loo nto. Kodwa zange ayibonise laa nto into yoba ambeke phezu kwakhe athini xa ethuma abanye abantwana athi ubani akanakuya kulaa ndawo befuneke eyile kuba mna asange ndithe ekuhambeni kwethuba ndathetha naye usenongayikhumbuli ndathi mntanam ngoku ukobunye ubomi uzawuhamba kule ndlela uthi xa uhamba kule ndlela udibane athomnye nanguKentucky chopha kuye athomnye nangunokawusi into enye Msimelelo ungazujika ujonge back uyawujonga okokoko kubantu abamnyama amophula umoya abantu abamnyama ungaze uyazazi uba kunguye angakwazi into yokutshona noba kuphina uzithele ecwaka uhambe. Never Msimelela report babefumene into ezisileyo esitratweni befika ngendlini athi cwaka aphinde utata kwamthuma i-airtime ye-3 kwakhona kubaleka buye ngoku. Kodwa bakhona abanye phinda Msimelela abomfunela le nto mandingayi akayithandi Msimelelo loo nto but akazange asinike into yoba le nto thina sithanda le Msimelelo ubuya ngoku. Yonke bendizayithetha ngebhetri kanye Msimelelo besiyawusa ibhetri esobhuza another bot ngaye abuya athi mama ndikwazi ukuya kuba kho abantwana abazinto ezithile kuba ndathi umntu ukuba ukhe wamvumela intamo yakho ijika iphendulane naye uyawuphendula ude uphethe uhlele endlini ehamba esitratweni yena. Andibuza ne-psychologist ndenze njani umntana babheke esikolweni. Ndathi bengenangayo owami esikolweni ngenxa yoba ezawubale kukhwazo and indawo yokuqala yamkela Msimelelo ngoku-grade 2 wena abantwana balapha ezantsi kwa-A zange bambone umntu wenzakeleyo must attention bayijongise kuwe xa bekubona. Yandincoma yathi mama bunokuze ukuthethe nabanye abantu bamgcina endlini umntana bamfihle for good ndathi owam akazofihlwa.
Then I entered high school in those awkward teen years. Girls became interesting for many other previously never thought of reasons. I remember my very first crush. We shared a desk in class for a year or so. There were days she would forget a book and we would have to share mine, which meant pulling a chair in close to me. That was the best. She had the most beautiful smile of all the girls in class. I never conjured up enough courage to say anything to her. In fact, I decided against ever telling her how I felt. We shared a desk. Can you imagine how indescribably awkward my school day would be if she had rejected me? I was not about to gamble with my comfort in class, so I continued crushing from a distance.
Growing up with Msimelelo, wow, bekumnandi, bekulit, as Msimelelo would say. We met in high school. Character yake, you're the guy, he's very confident. That I saw, even a walk, from a walking yake, he's got a certain walk. If you know something, now he would tell you straight, but look Joe, this is how you approach it. He's an intellectual.
I'll walk you home, I told her. She gave me half a smile. Well, I walked that girl 6 kilometers home, half listening to my friends behind us laughing and giggling at my attempts. We walked right past where I lived. and I just kept at it. I told her how much I liked her. Then I told her again and again. Mostly she would just ignore me and chatted to a friend who had joined us for a while. When she had finished talking to her, she would look at me and ask in a condescending manner, "What were you saying again?" It was so embarrassing. Today I can laugh about it, but at the time I vowed that I never wanted to do that again. My friends enjoyed every step of my humiliation.
Been friends with MC all through high school. I think I knew of him. We've seen each other through primary school. We only became friends from high school moving forward. We've been friends for I think over 20 odd years now. Friendship. That's not a friendship. That's my brother now. Yeah. So his girl game in high school. What girl game in high school? Man, I think we were very focused in books. I think there's the three of us. There's MC, there's myself, and then there's Kwanele. We were straight out teachers' pets, man, because of who we were and how we carried ourselves. The only focus and the only thing that we looked into was just books. When we hit that stage where I had girlfriends come out of my pockets, man. I had many girlfriends in high school, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So, MC's girls encounter in high school, I can only remember 3, I think. There was one girl that he liked, but he was terrified of her. So we sort of pushed him to go do something. I don't know what happened with that girl. There was one girl who stood him up, and then I think there was another one. I think he had a one-day relationship kind of thing. There's a girl that he said she said yes, and then the following day she said it's over. What just happened? So I think all through high school, that was horrible. So as far as girl came in high school, I think the only drive we had, because we were very competitive with the other learners from other classes, but with ourselves as well. We wanted to push ourselves to see how far we can go. So we were very determined, man, at very young age, which is very odd. And we sort of knew that in any case, girls like the guys who dance, which I feel, why? He dances. What is so special about that? Or the guys who play sport. I think even he tried to play soccer somewhere, even though I knew, and I think Brandon knew that he sucks at it. I think he had an idea that he might be playing soccer, which was I was happy when he stopped doing that shit, because that was embarrassing. We clicked. We had the same ideas and aspirations. We both wanted to be chartered accountants when we grow up. We wanted to have money. We wanted to have businesses. We had ideas. But one thing I can tell best about Umsimelelo, he had a wonderful personality in the sense that he would like to make jokes. He would take into a serious and will end up laughing. Not laughing because it was funny, but the fact that he had the ability to change a sensitive and sad story and make it an enjoyable one. Ikwenze ube motivated and think of yourself like beyond into ebuhlungu. Like, if I can go through this and make fun of it, I've healed from it and I've moved on. That was the type of person that he was. I really enjoyed the best years of my life, I can say, were growing up with him and another friend of ours, Oyama. And Umsimelelo in his days, as I would say, in our days, we laughed and enjoyed everything that we did. From making fun of females, although we were afraid of them. Sasboyika, so I think it was our coping mechanism to make fun of them, that they wouldn't read too much into Indoba Saoyika Mandomazana. We had our few women that we were attracted to in high school. relationships that never even got off the ground. Everyone called us bookworms because we liked studying a lot. But while we enjoyed what teachers would say, man, bazo understand better. We were like, yeah, but she could also be my girlfriend and stuff. But Bona, they never saw us in that way. And ultimately, we had a wonderful childhood.
So me and him, we went to the same university, Rhodes University. I think because now that's a much bigger environment, many kids coming from privileged schools, and so being smart at university meant nothing. I think in high school, being smart, even though we didn't have girlfriends, I had many girlfriends coming out of my pockets, even though they had no girlfriends. But we were liked. We were the likable guys. But in university now, you begin to drown because there's many you in that space, so there's nothing special about you anymore. And you're now away from home, in new environment. So we were trying out different things, and so we started drinking a lot. We went out and clubbing a lot. I think even went as far as DJing at some point, which was I felt, what are you doing? What is this that you're doing now? So because me and him, there was some stuff that we were going through, independently, of course, in terms of where we're coming from. So when you get to that space, the environment can be overwhelming. It can be quite intense, and you then begin to act out, and sometimes you don't understand why you're behaving this way. But I think the years we spent at university, most of it we're trying to find ourselves, trying out new things, different things. But as far as girls are concerned, I had many girls. That's my story now. As far as everything else, man, I think even though we would go off a tangent, but I think what pulls us back is just the shared determination of where we come from and what we would like to do with our lives moving forward.
With a degree in hand, I had managed to secure a job with one of the biggest automotive companies in South Africa. Life was starting to feel good. I never forgot the disciplines my father had instilled in me. But I was a young, independent man, and I was going to enjoy life. I cannot describe myself as anything other than a typical 20-something. I lived a fast life, partying into the early hours of the morning, hanging out with friends and enjoying a good job with a good salary. Along with that came my own car. At last, no longer did I need to sit in my dad's car. I finally had one to call my own, a Volkswagen. I had always loved Volkswagen cars.
C and I have been friends since 2001, and we met by chance on a bus. I don't know what attracted me to him and what attracted him to me, but throughout the years he's been my best friend, and I've always valued his honesty, his forthrightness, and he's always willing to correct me wherever I'm wrong. And he's always a guy who's always willing to listen to whatever problems that I have. So he's been my best friend throughout the years. Very honest guy, and he doesn't compromise on our friendship at any time.
Hi guys, kama Mthoko Nkosi. This is my wife, Izinyembezi. This is the friends. Come see Somi.
I've known him for quite a long time. We've been together, studied together. We were together in primary, and we were together in tertiary, and then we worked together in one of the auditing firms in PE. So I've known him kakhulu. Umsi is a loving person. He's a warm person. He's very kind. He's supportive as well. He will go out of his way just to help you, to be there for you. Umsi values family. Umsi uyayithanda kakhulu family yakhe kakhulu even before he got married. You could see that he is very attached to family, and Umsi has a fine eye for fine things, especially women who look good. You can tell by seeing his wife. His wife is so beautiful. So Umsi dated amantombi amahle.
What was it like working with MC? Well, here's the great thing is we always got things done. Okay, we never dropped any catches or dropped any balls, but we got stuff done while having a hell of a laugh. He was an incredibly infectious person. Made coming to work really awesome. We obviously traveled a lot for work. We've shared some funny experiences. I've got some really nasty stuff on him. The problem is he's got really nasty stuff on me. So it's actually win-win. These secrets will go to our graves. But one thing I can share is so we worked for an audit firm in Port Elizabeth. We were on our way to a client. Somi had been there for just over a month or two. Didn't have a car yet, so we were going in my car. He jumped into the passenger seat. We were about 1 week into the holy month of Ramadan, so I was fasting, and Somi was faffing in between his legs in his bag, and I couldn't see because I was driving. And then suddenly the faffing stopped, and there was this strange smell in the car. You know, not a smell that I'd ever experienced or that I was used to. And I glanced over at him, and he was about 2 bites into a really greasy pork chop. And I looked at him, and I didn't say anything, but obviously the look on my face gestured, what the hell are you doing? And he glanced over at me with the chop in his mouth and asking if do you mind? So Somi basically pulled out a pork chop in a Muslim guy's car in the front seat 1 week into his holy month of Ramadan. Okay, I will never ever stop laughing for that moment, and it's something that I'll cherish forever.
The date is 11 April 2009. Time about midnight. My logic says to me, because you were traveling at a certain speed and some car swerved in front of you without indication, you hit panic mode and swerved your car to avoid hitting the vehicle. You lost control of your vehicle and you rolled it. It all makes logical sense. Physics, time, and space all played their appropriate part. Choice, the guy who swerves, and gut instinct, my reaction, all did exactly what they were supposed to do. The sequence of events is completely logical, completely rational. But what would fate say? Fate would say, the date is 11 April, time about midnight, and things are as they should be.
Okay, a cousin of mine from East London, one phonela around 12 midnight. Esithi ufumana a call from one of my cousins ebehamba nomsimelelo. Esithi umsimelelo ufumene ingozi but akakho bad. So if bangabana ndinayo indlela mama ndiyombona base St George's. So I've debated this. Ikhona into yoba mandiye xa kuthiwa akakho right ndivuke ekuseni ndithi ndiyabe ndoba ndithini but ndifonele ubhuti elisikisiki ndithi kwenzeke lento abuze ubhuti ukhona na utata, but luckily at that time utata ndamva isanda ungena. So ndingayovusa umama ndiye straight kutata ndithi umsimelo ufumene i-accident. Abuze utata uphi ndithi use St George's and abe utata sethatha isitshixo immediately sihambe siguye. That was the first moment. Xa ndifika afike ukholo cousin wam angafuni ke ndingene aba are you right akho nto
akafuna ungene kule ndawo umsimelela kuyo.
Yes, kule ndawo umsimela kuyo. But likely ndidibane nogqirha uye wabuza kumba umsimelelo na related na kwindathi yes ndimsister wakhe ndihamba notata wakhe sihamba notata. So abeke sesithi, no, it's fine, you can come in. That's when I came in,
liyeza elakwithuba oh liyeza wena uzophendula lezinyembezi yengisikhalile ke manje zesuliwe lobubuhlungu wongizwise bona manje budlulile oh liyeza elakwithuba